Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. I hope you all had a very happy Christmas and a happy New Year. All feeling refreshed after the festive break and are all ready for what 2022 has in store for each and every single one of us. I do apologise for the lack of content on the channel over the last 6 weeks or so. In fact, the last video that was produced was the Monday review, looking back at the narrow defeat at home to Portsmouth. That was the 29th of November. And then, for a variety of reasons, I've not been able to produce content. We've only played a couple of games since then. I then caught COVID middle of December, which wasn't great fun. Didn't have any symptoms, but it was like a caged animal while I served my 10 days isolation. And then there was a COVID outbreak within the Gill squad and pretty much every other squad in the EFL, which meant that we had games cancelled against Crewe, Ipswich and Charlton. But we was back New Year's Day, first game of 2022, and it looked a very tricky encounter as we travelled to Stadium MK to take on high-flying, promotion-chasing MK Dons. I myself did not travel to watch the MK Dons fixture. I know Stocky went up last minute, but didn't let us know, so unfortunately I couldn't even pester him to do a match day live. But yeah, a very, very decent performance by all accounts from what I've read on Twitter and Facebook, and a very, very good point and clean sheet opening game of the year. So something to build on. We know it's been really poor this season. We've had horrendous injury problems, horrendous run of results, haven't we? I think it was 5 league defeats on the spin. Prior to then, it's no win in the league since October still, and no win in all competitions in 12 games, which I think is only 3 off of what might be an all-time record. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure I saw something from Hayden Parry recently. But yeah, a promising start to the year. The smallest of shoots of recovery. We had Jamie Cumming, Ryan Jackson, Max Amar, Carl Dempsey, Verdane Oliver, all available and in the 18 for the first time together in Christ knows how long. I think it's the first time we filled a subs bench since October. And we had some senior pros on there, didn't we? There was only a couple missing. John Akindi missed out with a knock, I'm not sure what that was. And Alex McDonald unfortunately ruled out for the rest of the season, and we're still awaiting on Daniel Adseed coming back from that broken foot that he suffered in that Portsmouth game. But yeah, full quota on the bench, so cannot complain too much, cannot complain at the result. And yeah, a really, really good point to open up the year. Looking ahead to the next 5 fixtures that will take us up to the end of January, we have 4 of them at home. So we go Ipswich at home on Saturday. That's the rearranged Boxing Day fixture. Both of us out of the cup, so we can play this weekend. Then it's Burton at home, Wigan away, and then Shrewsbury and Oxford at home to finish the month. So I am currently running a Twitter poll to see how many points each and every one of you thinks we can manage to muster from them 15 available. I think anything between 6 and 8 would be really good, considering we're playing an Ipswich side and an Oxford side that will still have aspirations of the playoffs, a Wigan side that are going to be there or thereabouts, have got games in hand right at the top end of the division, and Burton and Shrewsbury, who are both in the comfortable position of mid-table at the moment. So some games that are probably winnable if we have everyone available, but certainly no walkovers, and I don't think you get any of them in this division at the moment. You only have to look at the game last weekend. Doncaster away to Morecambe. I looked at it and it was 3-0 to Doncaster after half an hour. Went to sleep, woke up, Morecambe won 4-3. So we're going through it, but Doncaster are going through it as well. And it just shows you that the crazy nature of League One, and that's why we all love it, hate it, loathe it, but still watch it. Looking ahead to the next 5 fixtures that will take us up to the end of January, we have 4 of them at home. So we go Ipswich at home on Saturday. That's the rearranged Boxing Day fixture. Both of us out of the cup, so we can play this weekend. Then it's Burton at home, Wigan away, and then Shrewsbury and Oxford at home to finish the month. So I am currently running a Twitter poll to see how many points each and every one of you thinks we can manage to muster from them 15 available. I think anything between 6 and 8 would be really good, considering we're playing an Ipswich side and an Oxford side that will still have aspirations of the playoffs, a Wigan side that are going to be there or thereabouts, have got games in hand right at the top end of the division, and Burton and Shrewsbury, who are both in the comfortable position of mid-table at the moment. So some games that are probably winnable if we have everyone available, but certainly no walkovers, and I don't think you get any of them in this division at the moment. You only have to look at the game last weekend. Doncaster away to Morecambe. I looked at it and it was 3-0 to Doncaster after half an hour. Went to sleep, woke up, Morecambe won 4-3. So we're going through it, but Doncaster are going through it as well. And it just shows you that the crazy nature of League One, and that's why we all love it, hate it, loathe it, but still watch it. The big thing is, though, it's January, which means the transfer window is open. Obviously, that means that we're not just trying to get people in through the door. We're trying to prevent those leaving the other way. We've got a lot of people that are going to be out of contract come the summer. But I'm going to concentrate on what we probably need to bring in to try and give ourselves our best chance of staying up. Because let's not pretend anything other than us being in a relegation battle at the moment. We're currently third bottom, I think it is, or second bottom, averaging less than a point a game, or a point a game, which is nowhere near good enough. And we know we've had loads of injury problems, but if you look at the table at the end of the season, you're below that dreaded line. It doesn't say asterisks, Gillingham had loads of injuries. You're either down or you're not down, and we need to make sure that we don't go down into League Two. Obviously, under the rules of this embargo, that's not an embargo, that's a loan agreement, that means we can't buy players outside of the transfer window. We can only offer so much in terms of wages. Are you keeping up? I think, bear with me, we're only allowed 23 players maximum in the playing squad. We did have 23. Obviously, Charlie Kelman went back to QPR late October, early November, I think it was. It just didn't work out, and we wish him all the best. So that took us down to 22. But because of the terms of the loan, it meant we couldn't bring anyone in till this window opened. So now his loan is effectively over. So we have a free space. But I think we need to probably shift a couple more out to maybe bring in 3, which I think we need to do to give ourselves the best opportunity of staying in League One. So bear with me a little bit more. I have had a look through the squad, done it position by position. I've gone by a 4-2-3-1 system, is generally what we've played this year for a variety of reasons. Lack of options, lack of centre forwards. So I think we have people like Robbie McKenzie that can cover both full-back positions, can probably cover centre-back, can cover central midfield as well. And he's definitely been one of the bright sparks of what's been a harrowing season so far. Jack Tucker has shown that he's capable of playing holding midfield. So is that an area that we can look at? We've got plenty of central midfielders. If you look at Jack Tucker in that list, you've then got Stuart O'Keefe, Daniel Adseed out injured, Carl Dempsey back from injury, Daniel Phillips, Ollie Lee, Ben Reeves. That's 7 if you're looking at that middle of the park area, the 2 sitters, and then the ones that are trying to be more creative. Obviously, we have to use the loan market. We can only use 5 as a maximum. We had Jamie Cumming, Daniel Adseed and Daniel Phillips already mentioned, and Charlie Kelman. That was the 4 that we bought in the summer. Kelman's gone. That's down to 3. So we can bring in 2 loans. I'd imagine we're not going to buy anyone. So for me, going on the fact that I said we need 3 people in, we probably need to lose one of those loan players. So for me, I would say Charlie Kelman gone, that's 1 space. I would potentially look at offloading Daniel Adseed back to Norwich. I don't think he's a bad player, don't get me wrong. I think he could be a very good player. He's clearly highly rated. He's definitely got ability, but he's been in and out in terms of form and the side. This injury, if that takes him to the middle, the end of January, then he's got another couple of weeks to get up to speed. You're looking at middle of February. Can we afford to be waiting another few weeks for someone to be back up to speed and offering us something on the park? I'm not so sure, and I think Daniel Phillips is a better player. Also, we need to get rid of one that's maybe a player of our own, because the other 2 loans, like I say, are Jamie Cumming and Daniel Phillips, and I don't want us to lose them unless we have to. Obviously, Chelsea and Watford, respectively, could change all that. So for me, Charlie Kelman's gone. I would send Daniel Adseed back to Norwich City to free up another space, and I would unload Ben Reeves. And that's nothing against Ben Reeves. I think he's a very tidy footballer. Has he played enough? Absolutely not. Has he offered us enough in terms of goals and assists? Absolutely not, unfortunately. Is he at the age where he wants to be playing all the time? Absolutely. Is he good enough for League One anymore? Who knows? Didn't get in a Plymouth side a lot last season. Hasn't featured a lot for us. So that would be my 3. Kelman, Adseed and Ben Reeves. That gives us 3 spaces and a bit of wiggle room. There has been talk, hasn't there? Steve Evans mentioned in a recent article that he's meant to have been talking to a striker on Bank Holiday Monday regarding a loan deal. That's a Premier League striker. So we have to just sit tight and see what happens there. I know there's other clubs involved. Steve Evans said that himself, but he's encouraged by the fact that the club wanted Steve to go and talk to him. And it's up to him to convince this player that he's going to come and play and score goals for Gillingham Football Club, which is what we all want. So yeah, striker we definitely need. The other two positions, I think we need another wide man. We've got Danny Lloyd and Mustafa Carrion, currently the two that play them positions, but that's basically it. Alex McDonald, who did it really well second half of last season, is injured till the end of this campaign, so we have to rule him out. Carl Dempsey is better in the middle of the park for me, so I don't want him doing it. Harvey Lintot's filled in. Robbie McKenzie probably has. He's played pretty much everywhere else apart from in goal. But so I think someone that can play either side would be another good addition. And a centre-back, especially if we're going to lose Adsey to be able to jig things around. Jack Tucker playing centre midfield, that means then we've only got Max Amar and Reece Bennett, who are senior centre-backs in the squad. I know Harvey Lintott has played there at a youth level, but is he ready? And he's covering at right back as well. So for me, three positions that we need: striker, versatile winger, centre-back, and then obviously there's the John Akindi conundrum. Out again at the weekend. Steve Evans said it was a knock. No one knows what it is. I know there was issues at the beginning of the season where Steve Evans said that the medical team didn't think there was anything wrong with John. To be fair to him, he's led the line admirably over the last month or two, but doesn't score enough goals. He's on a lot at this level. That's unfortunately the big problem in terms of trying to offload him. But if we could get John Akindi off the wage bill, then we can look at getting in another striker as well, mixing things up. We'd have Dane Oliver, Gerald Sito, and maybe two loans or a one loan and one free transfer. But obviously that's dependent on whether we can get John Akindi off the wage bill. But he's a player that if we've still got him come February the 1st, I think he's a more than capable backup to Dane Oliver. But Dane Oliver is comfortably our best front man, and we need him fit for the rest of the season as well. So yeah, for me, that's what I'm hoping and praying will happen over the next 27 days. Doesn't always work out like that. In fact, it very rarely works out like that. And I remember January 2019 when we signed Billy King and Graham Burke and Leonardo Lopez and someone else, Ricky Holmes, Tarvon Campbell. How many of them actually worked? Ricky Holmes didn't play a game. Graham Burke was good for about an hour. Billy King was good for about 5 minutes. Tarvon Campbell the same. Leonardo da Silva Lopez was probably the only one that worked. So I don't want us to bring in people for the sake of it, but at the same time, we do need to keep the numbers up because we don't want to be in the same position that we were before this Christmas period and this COVID period where we was having 4 people on the bench and they were kids. Right, that is enough from me today. It is good to be back talking about football. I hope I've not whittled on too long. I hope you've not enjoyed the break of hearing my voice too much and you will continue to watch and listen and subscribe. I'm going to set the ambitious target of trying to get to 1,800 subscribers as quick as possible. Do keep an eye out in the next few weeks for that giveaway. I did promise before Christmas, once we reached 1,700 subscribers on YouTube and 4,000 followers on Twitter, which both have been hit, there will be a giveaway. It'll be either a voucher for the Terrace or classic football shirt. So keep an eye on the socials over the next few days, few weeks for that, and that will be done as promised. Don't forget to keep checking out Man v Fat Football. If you want to play football with like-minded individuals and lose a bit of weight, which we probably all need to do after Christmas, then do go and check out their website. And if you use the code Jules in the Blood, you'll get your subscription for a lot cheaper than normal. I think it's just £1. Right, that is it from me for today. Just to ease you back in. I'll be back Thursday or Friday with a match preview ahead of Saturday's encounter with Ipswich Town. But until next time, up the Gills.